Hello everyone, this is David, and today I'm going to be bringing an instructional video on multi-engine flight. First thing I want to make clear is this video is just meant for entertainment purposes. It is not meant for real-world flight instruction. It's just meant for the sim. I am a real-world multi-engine flight instructor, which basically means that I took an extra check ride to be able to teach in multi-engine airplanes. Which most people think, oh, it's just got two engines, big deal. Well, the main thing about it is you have more systems to manage. So you have your cylinder head temperatures, EGTs, power settings for a second engine. That's not that big of a deal. What is the big deal is flying the airplane when one of your engines decides that it doesn't want to work anymore. That's why the FAA makes private pilots get an additional rating of multi and private multi. If you're a commercial single engine pilot, you have to get a commercial multi-engine rating add-on. If you're a CFI, you have to get a multi-engine rating CFI add-on or MEI to be able to teach in the airplane, because flying a multi-engine is a lot different than flying a single. Like I said, more systems to manage, but also knowing what to do when things go wrong and what to avoid. I do have a video further down the playlist talking about multi-engine aerodynamics, or just kind of touching on them, not really getting all the way into them, just kind of talking about what a critical engine is and what defines a critical engine. This is kind of skimming the surface of everything from multi-engine. And so if you're interested in seeing what that's all about, go back down the video playlist and watch that. I won't go too much into all that today. This is mainly a demo flight and talking a little bit about what you have to do. Alright, so just getting started here in the cockpit. Obviously you've got a bank of gauges for each engine, an engine analyzer, and that's showing for both engines. But the main thing here is the airspeed indicator. Alright, you have a small red line here and a small blue line here. What this red line is, it denotes your VMC speed, or the way I like to explain it, as velocity of control speed. And basically your slowest speed at which you can maintain directional control with a single engine operating. If you go below that speed, you're going to get a loss of flight control. The airplane will actually, if it powers up on your good engine, you will actually lose control of the aircraft. The aircraft will roll over due to our turning tendencies. From single engine private, you have your P factor, your torque, your spiraling slipstream. With a multi-engine, you also have an accelerated slipstream. Just a couple more things to consider. Like I said, I go into all that in a previous video. If you don't know what VMC roll looks like, Google or just look on YouTube Queen Air VMC roll, and it'll pretty much very grisly video, but it will show you what happens if you get the airplane below VMC speed. If you do that and the airplane rolls over, the only thing you can do is reduce power in your operating engine. So it's absolutely critical to maintain a speed above VMC. So what you have, the next line is called blue line, or VYSE is the V speed acronym for it. And what that speed is your best rate of climb single engine. So you want to attempt to stay above that speed. After rotation, you want to get blue line or better. I climb out above blue line when I'm flying a multi-engine to give myself more of a margin of safety. So what that speed will give you is, like I said, best rate of climb. Now, if you don't do everything right, your 200 feet a minute climb rate, which if you can get that out of a twin, you're doing a good job. You know, most people think, oh, well, you're losing one engine, you've lost 50% of your power. Yes, you've lost 50% of your power, but you're also hauling around the dead weight of this engine and fighting all of the turning tendencies of your good engine. So you basically lose about 80 to 90% of your performance. If it's a hot day and you're heavily loaded, you may not be able to climb at all. You may only be able to maintain altitude. You may actually be losing altitude. So it's absolutely critical you do everything right when you lose an engine. So one of the first things you're going to do is you would feather the inoperative propeller after verifying it, because you obviously don't want to kill your good engine, because that you basically now just turned it into a complete engine failure. The next thing you want to do is put half ball deflection. So basically you want to split the ball for either side in your line here. You don't want to center the ball up, because what that does, it takes you out of the 0 degree side slip. What 0 degree side slip is basically that the airplane is centered straight on into the relative wind. If you don't have that 0 degree side slip, you basically have the airplane kind of cocked off, and you can kind of think of it as like a spoiler on a jet's wing. The relative wind is pushing against that, and that's causing a lot of drag. So you want the 0 degree side slip. The next thing you want to do is to put about up to 5 degrees bank into the operating engine. What this does is it helps offset some of those left turning tendencies and allows you to use less rudder, which decreases drag. You want to be cognizant of your speed coming around the pattern, and you want to be cognizant of your speed in turns, because as we know, as our rate of bank increases, or angle of bank I should say, increases, our stall speed increases. Alright, you definitely don't want to stall a twin or put a twin into VMC. Most twins have horrible spin recovery ability, and you'll be very lucky to be able to recover from a spin if it gets in one. So you want to avoid that at all costs. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take off here, and we'll see what happens. Alright, everything's forward. 280 knots. Alright, start to lift the nose. Gear coming up. And you notice that I'm keeping the airplane at a relatively low altitude. And okay, there goes an engine. Alright, so now I'm going to look for my dead foot. My meaning for that in pitch for the Y. Alright, dead foot will be the foot that basically you're not pressing on to keep the airplane in that 0 degree side slip. I'm going to confirm this by closing the throttle on my left engine. So I've killed the critical engine on myself, and as you can see, that has absolutely no effect. Okay, so I'm going to reach over, verify that I'm touching the left prop lever, and feather that prop. Alright, that windmilling prop creates a huge amount of drag. It's no longer creating thrust, it's literally just creating drag. It's like a big piece of steel, or aluminum actually, disc out in front of the airplane that's creating a ton of drag for you. Alright, so there's that 0-degree side slip and that 5 degrees of bank into my good engine. So now I'm going to go ahead and start the turn back around to the airport. Alright, I'm at VYSE, or at blue line. I'm getting 2 to 3, maybe 400 feet a minute out of this airplane, which is pretty darn good. Now, some people will say, you know, never make a turn into the dead engine because it can be fatal, and it can be. Provided you keep your airspeed high enough, it's not going to be fatal. Provided you don't get the airplane to the VMC point, it's not going to be fatal. So you could easily, in fact I'll do it here, I will turn into my dead engine, and as you see, the airplane doesn't really mind. It's flying fine. I can keep it in a climb. The airplane doesn't really care, provided you have enough airspeed. But if you get low on that airspeed, and that's why I'm holding this slightly above blue line, and because I'm able to keep a climb rate in and keep the airplane above blue line, I'm going to reduce my power on my operating engine. The reason for that is I've got one operating engine. I need to treat it really nicely so that it gets me home. So if you don't do everything right, it's very easy to get the airplane into a position where you're losing that altitude, like I said before. Flying an airplane twin on single engine, you will find that your leg on that good side gets very tired. Actually, even just pressing the rudder pedals, pretty heavy rudder pedals for my sim setup, my leg's actually getting pretty tired. Rep, which added to the Carenado Baron, does a really good job of simulating multi-engine aerodynamics. Way better than the original Carenado model did. So I'm actually a little bit above blue line now because, you know, hey, I'm 800 feet, pretty much AGL, which we're pretty much sea level here in Nantucket, and the airplane's flying fine. So I'm going to kind of level off, let my airspeed build up. Rep also does a really good job of simulating VMC roll. So yeah, does a really good job of that, and I'm going to take it up here in a minute after I demonstrate a single engine landing. And do a VMC demo, with the exception of I won't be recovering at VMC demo. I won't be doing the full demo. I'm actually going to let the airplane VMC so you can see what that looks like. Alright, so my speed is good. I'm going to delay the gear until I know I have the runway made. Same with the flaps. You know, you can always lose that speed, but you can't always get it back. But I'm going to let the power come back to just a little bit. Alright, there's my runway. Alright, going to bring my prop up. Alright, I've got the runway made, the gear's coming down. Alright, I've got the three-way. On the single engine, you want to be out ahead of the airplane power-wise. Don't want to get behind that power curve. Alright, runway's made, flaps coming out. And power's coming back. Oh my goodness. And now it's just a normal landing. A little long, but normal. So Rep faithfully does the unfeathering accumulator there for you. Alright. So we'll go ahead and restart number 1 here. See if I can get it to start. started up on that. Now, let's say we were sorry. Ignore that. Anyway, so we're going to taxi down here. We're going to spin the airplane around, and we're going to take back off, climb up to altitude, and we'll demonstrate how well rep captures the VMC, and how well X-Plane captures it as well. Alright, coming around. Use that power from that operating other engine. Okay, X-Plane, being weird. Also like the sounds there. Thumbs up. That low angle climb out right there is mainly to get airspeed. Alright, I'm going to try to come out here away from the cloud. Obviously we don't want to do this. The cloud below us. And we've got plenty of altitude. So what we're at in this situation here is as our altitude increases, our VMC speed decreases to the point that our VMC speed can also be stall speed or below stall speed, which would actually be an airplane with stall before VMCs. So we want to go ahead and reduce our power on our operating engine, our critical engine. And now we're going to pitch the nose up. Basically do everything we shouldn't do until we lose directional control. Okay. There's warning me to stall. I'm putting more correction, more rudder. I have full deflection of the controls. And there's the VMC. Okay, there's my spin. Full opposite direction of the spin. Elevator forward. Ailerons neutral. And we'll see if I can get it to recover. And it's gone flat. So this is where I was talking about rep. Doing VMC very well. I did get it to break the spin last time. This time, it did not break. And I'm just sitting here losing altitude and it's gone completely flat. So there's really not much I could do. I could try lowering the gear to add to the yaw effect. Now the airplane is spinning a little fast here, but yeah. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing I can do at this point. So, VMC is extremely dangerous. The